moment and go get your favorite brew. Now join me on this video. Welcome back to the shop. We've got some basic maintenance we've got to do. We're going to be cutting some firewood tomorrow for some friends, so we need to sharpen the chainsaw. So come on down here on the bench and let's take a look at what we've got to do. Alright, the first thing I want to get done here is to take off our chain. It's really loose right now, but that's alright. We're going to take it off and sharpen it, and then I also need to get the air filter all cleaned up. Oh man, that's a mess. Just look at that. So let's go get this blown out. Alright, I've already backed off the screw, which is right in there. One thing I really like is using one of these stiff bristle brushes. Tries to get all of that gunk out of there. And we've already turned down the screw, the tightening screw. Now we just need to loosen these nuts. Alright, it's all caked with stuff. I'm going to take it outside and let's get all of this cleaned off and blow it out. Right in there, right there is the oiler, so you don't want to have anything stuck in there. And here is your tightener, so you just want to make sure everything's nice and clean. So we're going to put this cover back on place and set this all off to one side as we take care of the chain and the bar. Now the chain, this bar needs to be replaced. I'm not going to replace it today. One of the things that I always try to pay attention to is to see if there's a burr. Doesn't feel like there is. That's good. Sometimes you can develop a burr on the end and it will catch. Might be a little bit of one right there. I might take care of that. And you just take a file right along there, and that keep us in business. I don't feel a file, or a burr, but I'm going to go ahead and clean it up anyways. So take that. Now we need to sharpen our chain. First thing I need to do is look for the first link. I am not seeing a, usually on most of mine there's a green color There's one that's, there it is. Right there's the link, and it's green. So I want to remember to catch that link right there. And I have a little jig I made here. This is a sharpening saw vise, a saw sharpening vise. You put hand saws in there and you can tighten them down and hold them in place. But I took one of these and it was already modified here some. I put the vice grip on it and I put this block of wood on there so that it can be mounted into my carpenter's vise. Now we can take these chains, drop them here around the vise and hold them right there in place. The reason why, got that backwards, reason why I do not sharpen it on the bar is that you can spread that bar out and then the chain will wobble in there and won't stay as straight. So let's get this set up and I'll bring you in here a little closer and we'll take a look. Alright, I've got this all set up. Tighten this down. Keep this all in place. You want it all nice and flat. And then I'd always struggled with sharpening these and they always got messed up. I used to try to do them by hand. I'd try different machines and the machines come in and they cut down and they'll cut a big old notch down here and it doesn't keep that nice and round right there. And lo and behold, I found this little deal. Now this isn't a product endorsement. I'm not getting paid for any of this, but these things work wonderfully. This angle is here. You have to make sure it matches to the size of your saw. My saw is a 0.325 in the radius right here, and so that's the round file right there. But what's really neat is that flat file right there. You have the round file, you have these bars as guides, but that flat file also in the same action will set these depth gauges. And I used to not mess with the depth gauges. You have this little device to put on there and you got to go through. It's a whole new step. So it's like doing everything twice. Well, this thing here sets the depth gauge at the same time as you sharpen the tooth and it works great. What's so nice about it is that I have found with my saw, you can pretty much, you don't even have to use the dogs on the saw to pry and get the saw to cut. It will pretty much pull itself right through the wood. And these angles right here also help set your angle. So you've got your angle, you've got your tooth right here that you're going to cut on. Your bars are setting on the tooth in front and the tooth in back so it doesn't go too deep. And it keeps that round cut on the underside of the tooth all very uniform. All right, our chain's turned around. There's our green one. Let's see if I can't get you in here. You see that tooth right there. We got to get the angle just right and then draw it across. 1, 2, 3. That should get that good and sharp. All right, we're done with all of this here. Put this away. You even have an extra file to replace that file in there for the depth gauges. Put that up. And we'll take the chain out of there. Got our little green marker. If you can't find that painted link, or if you can't find a marker, you can take an indelible marker, a Sharpie or whatever, and mark one of them so that you have a reference point and you don't have to worry about knowing where to start and where to end. All right, so let's get everything back over here. You should be able to get it all put together again. So here's our bar. I think I had it on upside down before, so we rotate it and we need it to cut like that. Because we want the chain to cut in that direction. So let's put this all on here like that. Also, make sure that our oil hole here is open, and it is. The little bar there, little thing here, is not open, but the oiler is. So that oiler will be sure to oil properly. Get it on our sprocket there. A couple of years ago I had to change the bearing inside there, and that is something you got to pay attention to. You might have noticed me shaking that and seeing how tight that was. You want to make sure it's good and tight. So there we go. So that hole I cleaned out was for the tightener there. So once we have that all on, the sprocket seems to be working well. We'll get our cover, put it on. There's a little plastic peg back here that's got to go into the notch. There we go. Now it's on there properly. Tighten these up. You don't want to tighten them up too much. You just want to tighten them so that they're just a little bit of friction. And then you want to take and tighten the tension on your chain. All right, well, I think we've got everything now for cutting wood tomorrow. We're gonna put some wood up for some friends, and I'm looking forward to a good time. Saw is sharp. We've got all of our tools, everything ready to go. Thanks so much for joining me on this. Hope to see you on the next one. Have a great day and God bless.